Hey beauty babes, welcome to my channel. I am Maria, aka Agave Love Girl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is going to be a little bit more of a chatty video. I wanted to talk about brands that have never really interested me. Now, this is not meant to be a video that's about shade and tea and all of this like drama or anything like that. Some brands, I don't know if anybody else is like that. I'm sure many other people are like this, but there are some brands you just look at and you're like, I don't really get what the fuss is all about. Now I have a list of 7 brands. There might be more, but these are just the ones on the top of my head that kind of came to mind when I was thinking about brands that don't interest me. And I think what perked this idea was just that we're always seeing new products come out, and from lots of different brands, and there's always the products come out from certain brands, and I look at them and I'm like, not interested. And so I don't know, I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about kind of why, or just at least say which ones. Not all of them have major reasons, I don't know, there's something. And some of these brands you might think it's because of the drama, because a lot of these brands are brands that have drama surrounding them. That's not necessarily the reason why I'm not drawn to them, but maybe subconsciously it kind of is. But anyways, with all that being said, let's just go ahead and get into it. Okay, so the first on my list is Kylie Cosmetics. It's not that I think there's probably anything bad about her products. I'm not one who is ever super into the Kardashians at all. I don't watch the show. I don't keep up with them. I'm not like a super huge fan. I'm not someone who also thinks that they're like the worst people on earth either. I don't really care about them one way or another. I don't think bad about her. For being such a young girl and being so successful, I mean, hey, good for her, that's cool. But as far as her makeup, it just never really appealed to me. The biggest factor is it's so expensive, and I know there was a lot of drama about her brand in the very beginning being like just ColourPop products but with her name on it, so you're basically paying for the name. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but at the same time I do feel like a big part of celebrity brands especially, you are paying for the name. Regardless of the quality, you're paying most of the money for the name, and I've just never been willing to spend the money on the name just because it's a Kylie product and everybody wants it and freaks out about it, and stuff sells out like in 2 seconds, or at least that's what it used to be when I remember like the hype and craze of Kylie, first was. And I think it's funny, not funny, but I think it's just very interesting because I feel like there are a lot of people in a variety of age ranges who Kylie appeals to, but I think a big portion of her audience is a very, very young audience. And it is kind of sad because she is such an expensive brand, and you have these young girls who will spend that kind of money on her expensive makeup when you could get just as good stuff like, say, ColourPop or whatever for a more affordable price. And I just find that like kind of crazy. So I've just never been willing to spend that kind of money on the name of Kylie Cosmetics. Some of her stuff does look pretty, but nothing has really been like, oh my god, I need to have it, I want it. I never felt that pull from her brand. And like I said, the pull is, I feel like, very geared towards a younger audience, because even my daughter, who's 15 years old, I say this all the time in my videos, always wears all my lipsticks, and she'll have friends that come up to her and it's like, oh my god, is that a Kylie lipstick? Is that a Kylie lipstick? Is that a Kylie lipstick? She tells me all the time. People always ask if she's wearing Kylie Cosmetics, and she's like, no. So I just find that so interesting, and it just, I don't know, it's somewhat sad to me because there is such a pull to this expensive brand and this certain person who's this role model, and I don't know. So anyways, that's enough about that. It's just one brand I've never really been interested in. I'm going along with the same brand is KKW. Again, like I said, nothing against Kardashians. I don't hate or love Kim, but again, I don't really know much about her or follow her that much. And when her products launched, I think if I'm remembering correctly, the first products launched were those tiny little contour products. And while yes, I feel like she is a big reason, her and Mario, if I'm remembering correctly, are a big reason that the whole contouring craze went crazy. Side note, that's not actually where I first learned about highlight and contouring, but I feel like are what she and Mario are who kind of made it really, really popular. and just to go on my side note, the first person I learned about highlighting and contouring were from a blogger named Kara, and she had a blog called Mascara, and I believe she has her own brand now. That's where I first learned about highlighting and contouring and all that before the craze of like Kim Kardashian kind of brought it to life. But anyways, so when I first saw those products, even before I saw the reviews, but they were like tiny products of highlight and contour for super expensive amounts of money. Again, I know you're paying for the brand and the person, the celebrity name, but I just thought how ridiculous people were spending so much money just because it was a Kim Kardashian contour product. And while I think sure it probably was a good, you know, there were a lot of good reviews aside from the amount of product and the product falling out and things like that, it being so small. But you know, a lot of people said it was a good product. There just wasn't very much of it, and especially for the amount of money you're paying, it's just like, I just found that insane. I just never super appealed to, you know, Kim Kardashian makeup, and even so on since she's come out with new stuff. I don't know, I'm not really about it. I will say though, in one of my recent videos I talked about getting one of her fragrances. I don't know if that counts as the same brand, because it is the same brand, but it's like KKW fragrance, whereas KKW Cosmetics. I don't know. I have been somewhat interested in one of her fragrances, or a couple of her fragrances, but aside from that, as far as makeup, I just am not willing to shell out that kind of money for not very much product, pretty much just paying for the name. So yeah. Alright, next up on my list is Jeffree Star Cosmetics. And I don't even know really what to say. It's not that I think his products are bad. I hear nothing but great things about his product, like the quality and the packaging. A lot of stuff does look really beautiful. But I know that Jeffree Star is someone who's been in a lot of drama. I mean, you can't go anywhere in the beauty space without hearing something about Jeffree Star. And to be very honest, he very much so intimidates me. I have seen him be extremely nice and be caring, and I know he's got probably a lot of really great qualities. I know he could be very giving and things like that, but I've also seen a very ugly side of him, and I know you all know what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying that to say that like people don't deserve forgiveness. I know he's apologized for different things, but I feel like it's just a constant thing. Like he's constantly doing things that are just very mean, and to me come across, not saying he's so scary, but just scary. Like he intimidates me so much, and I don't know, I just don't like that. I don't want to say I don't like him, because I'm not about to be like, I hate these people, or I don't like these people. I don't know him, but from what I've seen, I don't really care to support his brand. And I know that might ruffle some feathers because he's got some die-hard fans, but he's also got some die-hard haters too, and I'm not really either. I'm just someone who doesn't find his product interesting. I don't want to say that. Some of his product is pretty. I'm just not someone who is interested in supporting his brand and really, I don't know. I know it's just, a lot of people will say it's just makeup, it shouldn't matter, blah blah, but I just, I'm not really about it, I guess. I will say that I do have one of his lipsticks. I believe it's the white one, Drug Lord. I was gifted in a beauty swap I did. No, I actually have another one, another doll lipstick, and I did a video for it on Instagram a long time ago, and I was really proud of that video. It was really a step out of my comfort zone, and I liked the lipsticks. I think they're nice, but as far as purchasing anything myself, I've not purchased anything from him, and I just don't plan to. Yeah, not interested. Moving on, and it's kind of funny that I have them on the list right next to each other, but the other brand on my list is Kat Von D. Now again, she's another person who is in a ton of drama all the time, and the most recent one is the whole spiel she went off on with her baby and not wanting to vaccinate her baby and being vegan and blah blah, and me not being interested in her brand has really nothing to do with that. That's kind of very new, but I've never really been into anything Kat Von D. It's nothing against her. I have liked her, and I wouldn't call myself a fan of her, but I never really felt like there was anything against her. But when she comes out with products, I've never looked at them and been like, oh my god, I need that. Like, whereas a lot of people do. She comes out with something and people just have to have it. I've never felt that way. with the exception of her Shade and Light palette, the contouring palette, back when, you know, contour and highlighting palettes were like super trending. I feel like that trend has died down. But it looked like a really great palette, and I really wanted to get it, but I never ended up getting it. And while I think it's probably a great palette, great quality, I know her stuff is very good quality. A lot of people love her brand and her products. I don't know, maybe it's because it's more gothic, edgy, and that's just not my vibe. Nothing against it, but I've never really seen anything that I felt like I need to have or wanted in my collection. Felt like was just my style. It just I don't know, never interested me, I guess I should say. As far as her like recent thing, her recent drama that everybody's mad at her about, you know, I know there's a lot of people boycotting her for that, and I can understand why. Like, I don't get super political on my stuff, and I don't ever plan to, because this is not what this space is about. But one thing that did come across my thoughts when I was reading her statement that she wrote about her pregnancy and being vegan and being this and that, and then also choosing not to vaccinate and stuff like that, I just felt like it was a little bit strange, because it was like, you try being this and this and this, and it's like, well, a lot of those are personal choices. So while yes, they might be hard and tough, they're your personal choices that you have chosen to do. So let me say this, it's hard to feel sorry for someone complaining about something that is a reaction to their own personal choices. So that's kind of what I feel about that. And as far as the no vaccine thing, I can understand why a lot of people are super upset about that. Yeah, we're just gonna leave that there. Alright, next brand up is again another one that almost falls into this category of being in drama recently. Oh my Lanta, this wasn't on purpose, I promise. But Huda Beauty, her stuff is beautiful, and I do have a lip set from her that I purchased a long time ago, and the only reason I actually purchased that was because I was part of a collab with some friends who wanted to do a whole a whole Huda Beauty collab thingy. It was a really cute video. I really loved that video. I think the lipstick I got was really beautiful, but aside from that, I've never been really super into Huda Beauty, like the stuff she's released. Yes, I will admit the rose gold palette I thought was really beautiful, but right away a lot of people had a lot of negative things to say about it, so I was like, pass. So I don't know, I've just never really been interested by her products, so I don't really have any main reason. I just am like, I'm not that interested. But especially now with the drama that she is in, with, you know, people saying her ripping off the theme and ideas from Beauty Bakery, whew, I don't know. I don't blame them. It does look very much so like she has ripped off Beauty Bakery, and on top of that, Beauty Bakery is still a brand that I really want to try. It's kind of hard to purchase from them because every time I feel like I have the extra money to spend and want to check out their site, a lot of their stuff is always sold out, so I'm like, I still have not been able to purchase anything from Beauty Bakery, but it's such a cute brand that I still really want to try. But anyways, yeah, Huda Beauty is just not a brand that's really ever been interesting to me. Alright, the next one is one that's kind of random actually, and it is Pacifica Beauty. This is a brand that I think is like a very natural brand. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, it's like a vegan brand, cruelty-free, probably eco-friendly. It's like one of those brands that are very like that. I feel like, if I'm well, I don't even know if I'm remembering this, I may just making it up. I feel like this brand maybe originated in Oregon. For some reason I'm getting that vibe, or maybe it's just because I remember being in Oregon one time on a little trip and visiting some cute little local boutique kind of shops and seeing Pacifica Beauty products in there, and I was like, oh, how interesting. But to me, the reason why this brand has never really appealed to me was just the simple fact that, to me, the products look very cheap. Like and I can't say for the quality because I've never tried anything from them, so the quality might be amazing, but just based on first impressions of the products, seeing that in person as well as seeing their products online, they come across as very cheapy to me for some reason. They look like something you would find in the Dollar Tree, only the prices are like crazy expensive, or maybe not crazy expensive, but to me I just find them to be pretty expensive for I don't know, for what they look like to me. I don't know. Maybe it's because they are vegan and cruelty free and all that kind of stuff, and maybe it just makes their brand needs to be more expensive, but I don't know. Their brand has never really appealed to me. It just seems, I don't know, like I said, just cheap to me. Nothing just interesting, I guess, really. And then the very last brand on my list is, and this is kind of like a twofer. I feel like they're different things, but they're kind of the same thing. So Shop Hush / Bad Habit. I think that Shop Hush is just an app or a site you can purchase different products on, but I feel like they used to. Maybe they have branched out and they sell other brands, but I feel like they only really sold Bad Habit products or the Bad Habit palettes. And the Bad Habit palettes and the Shop Hush palettes, for those who don't know, are the brand that kind of, well, there's a couple other brands that do this, but anyways, it's the brand that pretty much dupes other high-end brands exactly, but then names them something different. And so I do remember when they first came out, and people were showing, I think one of their first palettes was like Aphrodite or something like that, and it was basically like a dupe of the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. And when I found out, like, oh my gosh, this is like so similar, except for, you know, it's way cheaper. I think it was like $10 at the time. And I thought that was very interesting, but never really decided to purchase because I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so, but I did find it interesting that they had these palettes that are like pretty much exact dupes, if you want to call them, of high-end brand, and I thought, okay, that's kind of neat. But I just never felt the pull to actually purchase anything from them. I guess I can't really say one reason or another why there's no interest there. There isn't. I will say though that Bad Habit, or at least Shop Hush, I don't feel like it's a brand I want to even support anyways, just because I've heard some negative things that they have done to other beauty influencers, as far as like stealing content and not crediting influencers from them, like using content that influencers share in ads and things like that, but not crediting and not asking permission and not paying the influencers. I've heard that from a couple of different people, and I don't know, it's kind of like left a bad taste in my mouth. Like I don't think I ever would want to support this brand just for that reason alone, because that's just messed up. You know, people tend to think, and I'm gonna go off on a little rant here, but people tend to think that YouTubers and beauty influencers, like what we do is just all fun and games and blah blah blah, it's not real work. And while yes, if it's put side by side to like a real job, it's definitely a lot more fun of a job to do compared to other jobs, but that doesn't mean it's not work. It's not time consuming. It really is. A lot of people put so much thought, so much energy, so much time into their content, into photo editing, video editing, thinking of ideas, creating looks, all this stuff, which yes is fun and we love to do it. That doesn't mean it's not work. And so for companies and brands to not value that and just steal work without asking, without paying us for it, and without any credit at least even, is so frustrating. And yes, this is a little bit of rant, and I apologize for that, but you know, I don't like that. And Shop Hush actually is not the only brand who's done this. I've experienced this with other brands, and I've heard about this from other brands doing this to other influencers that I know, and it's not cool. It's just not cool. So that was a random rant that I didn't expect to go on today, but there it is. Anyways, that is it for the brands that have never really interested me for one reason or another. I hope you found this video entertaining, if anything, and I would love to hear if you have any brands that have never really interested you for one reason or another. Let me know what the brands are and what your reasonings are, for just if you have a reason why you think they've just never interested you, or if maybe you're just not supporting a brand for one reason or another. I would love to hear from you and hear your thoughts on this subject. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, much love and hugs to you. Bye, beauty babes.